Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with a review of a Japanese cyberpunk splatter horror science fiction film from 2005 from the director of the J is for Jidai Ginki segment in ABCs of Death, which was a really good segment, and Battlefield Baseball, which I've yet to see. Also, the effects in this movie are done by the director of Tokyo Gore Police and I think Vampire Girl versus Frankenstein Girl, and he also did the effects in Tokyo Gore Police and the effects in Machine Girl, which is a film I reviewed quite recently. And those two movies had really good effects. So tonight's movie is Meatball Machine. This movie is about alien parasites that turn the human hosts into like mindless kind of cyberpunk zombie slaves called necroborgs. The film begins with a man attempting to hang himself only to be consumed or well, actually taken over by what looks like a face hugger from Aliens on steroids. So then we have a fight between two necroborgs. Um, then the title screen. Then we meet our main character Yoji, who works in a factory, and his like the girl of his dreams, Sachiko, I believe her name is, who I guess lives or works like right next to the place, and he always sits at lunch, by himself and looks at her, and so he's just sitting there working that day, and his coworkers come in talking about, oh yeah, I was out with this chick last night, and they're all being loud and rambunctious and goofing off while he's actually working. It's kind of like my life. So Yoji goes home and jerks off. Yep, goes home, jerks off. His neighbor interrupts him, asks him for some money, and then next we see a kid attempting to get his ball back after it went under a bridge, and he is attacked by a parasite. Yeah. Then, once the kid is infected, he walks in the middle of the street and is hit by a guy in a car, and that was pretty awesome, effects-wise at least. So the guy gets out the car and to check out what happened, and he gets attacked by the parasite and taken over. After vomiting, of course. So it's the next day. Yoji's at the factory having lunch. Yoji's at the factory having lunch by himself, as usual, eyeing up his dream girl. And then some workers come out and start talking about the girls next door, like right there. And then we have this guy who is putting on this outfit that he puts on to slay necroborgs, because he slayed one in the beginning of the film. There's another necroborg fight, and man, I love these Japanese splatter films. So the guy that slays them fights a necroborg with a drill that kind of looks like a dildo almost. Um, the Slayer loses, and but he gets a piece of the necroborg to study. Our protagonist is walking home, um, and the parasite leaves the host's body, and goes searching for another one. So our protagonist is in what I guess is a porno theater, and this guy in drag comes in and sits next to him, starts rubbing his leg, and he's like, no, just get the fuck out of here. And then they go outside, they fight. He gets his ass kicked, and he's almost taken over by a parasite, but the parasite dies as soon as it gets near him. So he takes it home and examines it, and the shell of it is like so hard that he can't crack it open. So he takes it to work, and he works in like a metal shop, and he uses a drill on it, and the drill doesn't even work. The drill breaks. So then him and his neighbor kind of hang out for a bit. Um, and he goes home. Yoji goes home, and he sees his dream girl is about to get raped. So he stops it, only to be beaten up and escorted home by her. Um, and in an attempt to impress her while she's out of the room, he quickly organizes his stuff, asks her what her name is, then wants to see her breasts, and she claims that she has ugly scars all over her body from her father. Okay. And then the parasite comes out of the closet and infects Sachiko and tentacle rapes her, and then turns her into a necroborg. So will Yoji be able to save her, or will she remain a necroborg? Watch the movie and find out. Meatball Machine, a film that title doesn't make sense until like I'm not even joking, the final frame of the film. Yes, another Japanese splatter film, guys, after covering almost 3 in the same week. Now, as I've said with the previous one, the writing, acting, plot, characters, they don't matter. They're just, things that are put to the side, and the effects and camera work and lighting are the main kind of things focused on in these kinds of films. Very well done, especially the effects, the necroborgs, how they look is very cool. It looks like something you'd see out of actual cyberpunk films. The gore is very similar to that in Tokyo Gore Police, so you know what to expect from it. It still doesn't have the same ridiculous kind of funny charm that Tokyo Gore Police and Frankenstein Girl or Vampire Girl versus Frankenstein Girl had, which are still 2 of my favorite Japanese splatters. But this one has a lot more of a serious tone to it, which is kind of weird. On the gore meter from 1 to 10, 1 being something like The Corpse Grinders and 10 being something like Brain Dead, this movie's a 7 or an 8 out of 10. There's a good amount of gore and cyberpunk violence and transformations in it. Pretty good splatter flick. Not as fun and entertaining as like Tokyo Gore Police, Machine Girl, Vampire Girl vs. Frankenstein Girl, but still definitely worth a watch if you are looking for another Japanese splatter to watch. 4 out of 5 stars. Anyway, guys, I'm Biscuit Booze 69 signing off. Peace.
You're listening to a demo for